7 Secrets from Hindu Calendar Art by Devdutt Pattanaik. Chapter 7, Brahma's Secret. Human life is an opportunity. Part 1. So much has been said about Shiva and Vishnu and about the 3 goddesses, but what about Brahma? An occasional image here and there. This one, for example, usually with the other gods, but nothing else. No festival, no ritual, no prayer for Brahma. Why so? To understand this, we have to ask ourselves 2 questions. Why do we want the Creator to be so acknowledged? Why is the Creator in Hindu mythology not given the same status as the preserver or the destroyer? When the word Creator is uttered, we take the Bible as the reference point and assume that since God is the Creator there, it must be so in the Hindu world as well. But in the Hindu world, creation happens for a reason, and Brahma forgets that reason, which is why he is declared unworthy of worship. In the Vedas, the poets wonder why the world exists. After much deliberation, they conclude that it exists to help us know ourselves. The idea was elaborated in the Upanishads, where it is said that to understand the self, the primeval being known as Purusha, the self must be split in 2, thereby creating the other. Thus, the other exists to understand the self. In the Puranas, this abstract idea is expressed through the tale of Brahma. While reading the story, one must keep in mind that the god and the goddess are embodiments of gender-neutral ideas, which is elaborated in Chapter 3, Ardhanari's Secret. That the male form or Brahma represents the self, the observer, the spiritual divine within, while the female form or Shatarupa represents the other, the observation, the material divine without. Brahma created the world to understand who he was. The world was a woman, his creation, hence his daughter. Rather than learn from her, Brahma became enchanted by his own daughter. When she circumambulated him in order to pay her respects to her father, he popped 4 heads so that he could see her wherever she was. Then she turned into a cow. Brahma instantly turned into a bull. When she turned into a goose, he became a gander. In other words, he lost all sense of himself. He became so obsessed with controlling her, conquering her, that he kept turning into the male counterpart of her female form. Little did he realize that she was material reality, forever restless. She was Shatarupa, she of myriad forms. She was matter, Prakriti. She was energy, Shakti. She was the great delusion of life, Maya. How can anyone worship one such as Brahma? One who is still chasing the material world rather than trying to understand himself. Who is this Brahma? Is he you, the listener, the viewer? Is he me, the speaker? Or is he the writer? Is he the one who is trying to control her life, the demon who has been crushed underfoot by the goddess, as in this image here? This is never stated explicitly. What is stated explicitly is that Shiva cuts the 5th head of Brahma and uses his skull as a drinking bowl. Shiva thus becomes KAPALIKA, the skull bearer. Shiva is Bhairava, who opposes Brahma's lustful intent. He is innocent as a baby, as shown in the image on the left. He is innocent as a prepubescent boy, depicted in the image on the right. He is Bhairava, the fearsome guardian of the goddess. In his hand is Brahma's 5th head. The 5th head indicates the ego, that part of the mind that seeks control over material reality. Shiva is everything Brahma is not. Shiva destroys what Brahma creates. Brahma creates calm, lust. Brahma creates yam, death. Brahma creates karma that rotates the cycle of rebirth. Brahma creates the ego. Brahma creates the 3 worlds, the private, the public, and all the rest there is. All this makes him unworthy of worship. The purpose of life is to realize the ego and overpower it. Either destroy it as Shiva does or be detached from it as Vishnu is. This can only happen when we learn from life. Until man realizes this, he goes through several lifetimes. That is why Brahma's consort is Saraswati, the simple goddess of learning, as shown in this image here. Dressed in white, with book and lute in hand, this goddess does not nourish the flesh and does not stir emotions. Lakshmi's presence may make a man rich and powerful. Durga's presence may fill a man with fear or love. But Saraswati's presence brings serenity. She is the knowledge of the world, all the information there is, which when used can eventually become wisdom. Sometimes she is associated with a gander or a crane, but mostly with a swan. A swan or gander is believed to have the power of separating milk from water, making it the symbol of the mind's discriminating power. She is also associated with the peacock, but the peacock does not spread its feathers to show off its beauty, suggesting that a true understanding of any subject leads to humility. For the more you know, the more you realize how much more there is to learn. Uncertainty will lead you to seek and discover more. This makes human life special. As a human being, one is blessed with the ability to reflect on existence and think about its meaning. This reflection leads to self-discovery. Because humans are blessed with manas, or mind, which analyzes and evaluates the world around, humans are called manavas. Hindus believe that one becomes manav, or human, only after passing through 84 lakh wombs. As the soul journeys through many lifetimes, it adorns itself with various bodies and discards them at the time of death. Between life and death, the body acts. Each action has repercussions. The soul is obliged to experience the reactions generated by the actions of its body. This is karma. That is why karma determines all things over which we have no control. Our bodies, our parents, the circumstances of our life. But the human mind, ambushed by the fifth head of Brahma, does not realize that all events experienced by the body are its own creation. The ego has no memory of actions performed in past lives. It refuses to take responsibility as creator of the world around him. In other words, Brahma, the divine within, refuses to accept that the world around, the goddess, is his own daughter. So he chases her and seeks control over her. By controlling the world, he believes he will validate his existence. His attention then moves away from the soul within and anchors itself on the matter without. So the purpose of life then becomes material well-being and not spiritual well-being. All actions and rituals then are geared to changing the material world to make it more pleasant, rather than training the mind to accept the material world for what it is, and through it, discover the spirit within. Hindus believe that karma is manifested through 9 celestial bodies, the Navagrahas, who rule time, as shown in this image here. Though divine beings, the grahas have no will of their own. They are compelled to influence our lives at a particular time or a particular period, depending on what is written in our fate. In Vedic times, the rishis came up with the Jyotisha Shastra, the science of light, simply known as astrology, by which one can calculate the relative position of the grahas in our life, depending on the time and place of our birth. This then reveals what fate has in store for us. Thus, we can be prepared for a calamity or have hope of a fortune. But what if the fate the Jyotish Shastra reveals is not something we like? The rishis came up with the concept of upaya, or way out. Using gems and certain chants and rituals, one can increase or decrease the influence of a particular graha in our life. Thus, we can influence the future. It is not just fate. There is free will. Another way of influencing the effects of fate is by using the science of space, or geomancy, known to rishis as VASTU-SHASTRA. The earth is naturally circular, aligned to the horizon, but man's dwelling is a square, circumscribed in that circle. This square of human settlement is called Vastu Purusha, and this square can be broken into a smaller size. Each direction is governed by a god, a Diggapal. By reorienting walls, windows, and doors, it is possible to shift the energy of the gods such that it brings good fortune into the house. Thus, through desire, one can perform rites and change what destiny has in store for us. This image here shows Vastu-Purusha. Vastu-Purusha was a demon who tried to rise from the earth and block the sky. The various gods pinned him down. Each god is ruler of the point where he still holds down the demon. The north is ruled by Kuber, who is the treasurer of the gods. The south is ruled by Yama, who is the god of death. The east is ruled by Indra, who is the god of rain. The west is ruled by Varun, who is the god of the sea. The northeast is ruled by Soma, or the moon. The southwest is ruled by Surya, or the sun. The northwest is ruled by Vayu, or the wind. The southeast is ruled by Agni, or fire. Opposite directions complement each other. Thus a balance is created in the cosmos. In the center stands Brahma, the navel. Man himself, the center of his world. Space and time are manipulated through VASTU-SHASTRA and Jyotisha Shastra to generate material wealth and to harness fortune, fertility, and household prosperity. Rituals and prayers directed at the grahas and the Digpals do not seek any spiritual goal like enlightenment. Material wealth comes from the nether regions. Plants come from under the ground, minerals come from under the ground, water comes from under the ground. Hence, creatures who live under the ground are highly revered in Hinduism. Special importance is given to cobras, hooded serpents known as nagas, especially when they live in abandoned termite hills. These are considered to be gateways to the nether regions, where hides the occult power of nature's fecundity. Nagas are said to live in a city called Bhogavati, which is made of gold and gems. They are supposed to have rolled on grass on which was kept Amrit, the nectar of immortality. That is why they are able to slough their old skin and grow new skin, making them potent symbols of renewal and regeneration. Some Nagas, such as the one in this image here, are said to have a gem on their hoods. This gem, or the Nagmani, has the power to fulfill any dream or give shape to any wish. Hence everyone seeks this gem. Once again, desire for the Nagmani and the blessings of the Naga stems from the desire for fortune. Hindus are not content accepting that fate does not have fortune in store for them. By praying to the Naga, one hopes to usher in what fate has denied. Chapter 7, Brahma's Secret. Human life is an opportunity. Part 2. 7 Secrets from Hindu Calendar Art by Devdutt Pattanaik. Chapter 1, Ganesha's Secret,